When it is said that the anger destroys virtues.
Yes.
Now, a lot of commentaries,
Mm.
they are saying that it is the virtue which is generated by generosity
Yeah.
and the ethical discipline.
Yeah.
Whereas the virtues which are generated by samadhi and wisdom, pragya,
Yeah.
or the paramita of enthusiasm,
Yeah. Yeah.
that remains.
Yeah.
So could you comment on that so that it really becomes very clear?
Okay. Okay. I may or may not be able to commentate on that so it becomes very clear, but I'll be able to say a few words on that. Okay, so, all right. This is a big point that's debated. Okay, so let me just repeat it, okay? Now, if you look in the text, okay, the actual 6th chapter, it says, whatever wholesome deeds, such as venerating the Buddhas and generosity, that have been amassed over 1,000 eons will all be destroyed in one moment of anger, okay? Now, in other texts, like Chandakirti's Majjhimika Avatara, and so forth, then they talk about this quality of anger, that it destroys our virtue. Okay? So now the question is, here in the root text, whatever wholesome deeds such as venerating the Buddhas and generosity, okay? So if you think of the 6 paramitas, ethical discipline, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiastic effort, meditation, and wisdom, then you're saying in some of the commentaries it's like the virtues of the ones like lesser, lower than patience, ethical discipline, and generosity, those get destroyed, but the higher ones remain.
Continuous.
Yeah, continue. So you do see in some texts that when we dedicate our virtue, we should seal it with a recognition of the emptiness of the so-called 3 spheres. So that the giver, okay, the 3 spheres being, okay, when we give something, there's a giver, there's the recipient, and there's the gift, yeah? So those 3 are the 3 spheres. And those 3 lack inherent existence, yeah? So it is said that when we dedicate with the awareness that the 3 spheres lack inherent existence, in other words, they are interdependently originated, right? Meaning, if those 3 don't come about, there's no giving, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Think about that. Okay, right? So that's what that means. By meditating in that way, as we dedicate the merit, then that can protect the merit from being destroyed. Okay? So now, your question, okay, it seems that also in the Madhyamika Avatara, it also just says generosity and ethical discipline, right? Now, I'm not sure if that would then implies, because sometimes it's like, like we say in the, Sangye Chudan Sogi Chonona Janchu Badidani Kyapsi, Dagi Jin Sok, right? The Sok is like etc., right? So sometimes when they say like Chin is generosity, so in other words, sorry, the traditional refuge prayer that was formulated by Atisha, I go to refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, by my practice of generosity and so forth, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So you just say generosity because that's the first of the sixth. And then the so forth, then includes the others. Okay? So, my opinion is that the virtue done conjoined with the wisdom realizing emptiness might not be destroyed, might not. But I can't think of a reason why even like the first five, all of the first five wouldn't be destroyed by anger. If generosity and making prostration to Buddha and so forth can get destroyed, I don't see a reason why the third, fourth, and fifth can't be destroyed. That's my opinion. And I think that in these texts, when it just says generosity and ethical discipline, it's like it's starting on the early ones, like the first ones, and then by extension, we should assume the rest. Like here, even in whatever wholesome deeds, such as venerating the Buddhas in generosity, right? Such as. It's like an example, but it's not exhaustive,
Also, Venerable, they're speaking here of non-bodhisattva or someone who's already generated bodhicitta. That makes a big difference. Because I tend to think we as ordinary people, we should take care of this because none of our merit has been dedicated yet properly with that. And we don't have bodhicitta.
Yeah, so here, this is again another point that is debated a lot. Even in the Lamrim Chenmo, there's a lot about it. Because in the commentaries, it talks about, in Madhyamika Avatara in particular, it says, okay, if you are, let's say, one level of bodhisattva, like on the path of preparation, and you get angry toward a bodhisattva who is higher than you, then there's this much merit that's destroyed. If it's lower than you, there's this much. If it's the same as you, then that much gets destroyed, right? So then some even say, oh, this is just talking about the bodhisattva's merit getting destroyed. But the point is, if bodhisattva's merit can get destroyed by it, then of course ours can too. Yeah. Okay, good. Here, see in Madhyamika Avatara it says, a moment's anger towards a conqueror's child, meaning a bodhisattva, destroys the virtue arising from generosity and ethical discipline accumulated over 100 eons. Okay? Then it says,
Chapter?
Is chapter...
We don't have it here.
No, it's not there. This is Madhyamika Avatara, not Bodhisattva Avatara. But I will, let me find it for those of you who follow at home. It's chapter 3, verse 6 of Madhyamika Avatara, entering or supplement to the middle way by Chandrakirti.
Now you're sounding like a Christian priest.
I'm sorry?
That's a Christian priest. Turn to the Bible.
Oh, nice.
It's okay, it's your training.
There's something which I'm going to use which is not there, but it's like an oxymoron. There are times, I know it doesn't exist what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Generous anger. For example, I have someone's welfare in my mind, and that person has come to a point where he's becoming very obstinate. But as a person who's watching that, I have his welfare or her welfare in my mind, and I want that person to go to listen to or to follow a certain path.
Right.
Irrespective of fine rights and wrongs, but then it is going towards self-destruction. And I come to a point where I become angry. And it is out of concern, out of the welfare. I am angry.
Sure.
Do I still destroy all the amassed?
Okay. So, Yeah, no, okay. Let me just do this in brief, because we do have a lot of material to cover. But okay, so sometimes when people are misbehaving, let's just say, then you do have a responsibility to get them to stop, to do that, right? Doing that. But the thought is, what we were saying with anger yesterday is a wish to harm someone else, right? Right? A wish to harm. If you have someone's best interest in mind, like for example, the mother whose child goes and plays in the traffic, right? Sometimes the mother, to make a point, if you're just like, oh, don't play in the traffic, honey, right? Then the kid will be like, it won't have an effect on them. So sometimes the mother has to, scold, take a maybe a bit angry expression, but in the mind, there doesn't have to be anger. Do you see what I mean? Right? So you can still have, like an actor in a play or a movie, right? You're acting like, you're angry and upset about it, but the mind can be totally like full of love and compassion. Okay? Now, that's possible, but for us, it can be a little bit mixed, right? So, here's the thing, right? There's a saying we have to keep in mind. We have to start where we are. Start where we are. Is anyone here a Bodhisattva or Buddha?
No.
Okay. So, we see this stuff, and it's like, okay, this is the goals we're setting for ourselves. Now, we have some compassion sometimes, we have some anger sometimes. Okay, that's where we are. We're trying to increase our compassion and our good qualities of mind and decrease our anger, right? So when we're in a situation, we might have some, maybe at first 50% compassion, 50% anger. Okay, try. Then next time maybe you can go to 60-40 and this kind of thing. That's what the mind training does, right? So don't just get freaked out like people, you read this oh my God, I'm destroying 100 eons of merits, and then freak out and I don't know. Then that can paralyze you, right? So believe me, what we're doing now, even if we get a little bit angry and are scolding someone, is nothing compared to the other negative atrocities that we've done since beginningless time, right? So we'll get to that. We'll try to use powerful methods to purify all of that later. But here with the mind, what can we do? You have that anger arising now? Okay, try better next time. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so now where are we? We've done how to begin the cultivation of patience. Okay, now the divisions of patience, outline 3. Okay, we have the developing the patience of disregarding harm done to you. Okay? Then the first is stopping impatience with those who harm you. Then again, more outlines. Stopping the impatience with those who prevent your happiness, as well as those who cause you to suffer. Now, how we're doing this is 1, showing that the anger is unjustified. So here, on the analysis of the object, anger is unjustified. Okay? So here, we're going to be having this analysis of the object, of the subject, and the basis. Okay? So analysis of the object is the object of anger, the person who's provoking us. Okay? So, it's like this. We were saying that all of our mental afflictions are coming from a distorted view of reality. Okay? Now, we're going to be using our meditation, and in particular our analytic meditation, to analyze, okay, in those situations that are quite provoking of our anger, it appears to be one way, yeah? But that is a mistake. So now we're going to use our wisdom to analyze what it is in reality. Then we'll see that, well, it's a distorted view of reality, and then that can help us unwind the anger that comes off of it, right? Okay. So, on the analysis of the object, yeah, anger is unjustified. Okay? So now this has 4 parts to it as well. Analysis of whether the object has self-control. Okay? Alright. So, normally, what happens when we get angry? Okay? We think that our anger is actually reasonable. We have reasonable grounds to being angry. Because we might think something like this, okay? So this person who harmed us had the thought of wanting to harm me, right? Then they prepared the various methods. Then they either prevented my happiness or inflicted suffering upon me, yeah? Physical or mental suffering. And so my anger is justified, right? Is that what we think? Okay. So then we have to kind of analyze and debate with ourselves a little bit, okay? So are we angry because this person who harmed us had self-control, yeah? Why they had self-control to harm us or not, they harmed us anyway. Or they didn't have self-control and then they harmed us. Okay? Okay? So if they didn't have self-control and they harmed us anyway, then, you know, our anger is unjustified because, well, they didn't have self-control.